Hey, we're live. Rob, the spotlight's on you, though, I think, right now.
I think we're on you. Now we're on me. Oh,
now we're on me.
What's behind me, Jeff?
Let me put this on here for a minute.
Hold on,
There's a gallery view. It's the bow tie realtor, bow tie Bendeson. And you can see him in the bottom right with the beard, the black beard. No, it's the guy in the bottom left square. That's Adam Bendeson, who his signature is he wears a different bow tie. Adam, what bow tie do you have on? That's your collection. We can see in the
red polka dot.
It's what?
Red polka dot.
So why red polka dot today?
Actually, I'm doing a property for a friend of mine today, and her color is red, and I'm even wearing glasses because she wears glasses.
But they're not red glasses.
No, they're tortoised on the side, though.
Okay, well that counts. So you want to start out?
That's
Adam?
up to you.
Adam, let's start with you.
You want to start by the intracoastal? You want to end at the intracoastal?
Let's start at the intracoastal, and I think then we'll also end at the intracoastal. So today, just to give you an idea, Adam is gonna be over at the Bluffs at 2601 Marina. Marina at the Bluffs. There's 5 different bluffs, and he's at the one with the gorgeous views. And then Dan Uzzi is going to be at 12877 Shore on the Intracoastal. I'm going to be over at PGA National, and then we have our realtor Sophie Schneeberger. Sophie's getting on right now. Sophie, say hello. Perfect introduction. So Sophie is coming on right now, and we're going to be telling you all about Sophie Schneeberger later on in the show. And then we have, Rob, do we have 4 different video featured 4 today that we're doing? So who are the 4? Come back on for a second.
Can you hear me? We got Da Vinci's 3D Lounge. Very, very cool place. Alex Lorenzo with Da Vinci's 3D Lounge talking about virtual reality, which it's here. It's been here. This is the fun part, virtual reality and 3D printers. At 2 p.m., we have Carrie Roman. He livingfla.com. He's a big restaurant promoter down there in the Boca Del Rey area. At 3 p.m., Lichtenstein Plastic Surgery. Lichtenstein Plastic Surgery.
They're really good. They're over on PGA Boulevard.
And at 4 p.m., Tranquil Radiance Spa. So I know the ladies will want that one. The spa feels like it's been closed for years. I know women are their nails, their facials.
I'm sure that's why Suzanne Slate didn't show up today.
Yeah, she's probably getting her nails.
Everybody wants to go back and do some of that. So Adam, let's start with you and tell us all about Marina at the Bluffs and where the Bluffs is located as well.
Terrific. So I am at Marina at the Bluffs, which is located in Jupiter, but it's really on the Jupiter-Juno Beach border. It is a community right on the Intracoastal. As you can see, it's attached to the marina itself, although they function as 2 separate entities. The views of the marina, which is on the Intracoastal, are absolutely stunning. You are nice and close to a lot of different things. You're within walking distance to a beach on the Intracoastal. You can get to the actual ocean which is a short distance away. The amenities, when I go through it, I'll show you those as well. But the nicest thing is that you get to see the sun come up and living the life of the docks. So if you're a boater, the marina has slips that you can rent, you can use, things like that. They are individually done, so therefore you make arrangements directly with the marina itself. All right, but the unit that we're talking about, as you can see, over my shoulder there is a arrow way up top. That is the unit with the long view of the marina coming right off of its terrace. All right, we're going to go inside the front. And this is as you walk in the front entrance there. You have a little hallway coming to the kitchen. Okay. And then as you switch around from the front entrance, we're going to go inside of the kitchen. So as you can see, the kitchen is a beautiful white kitchen, stainless steel appliances, solid surface countertops, open to the rest of the living areas. So this starts the house, and the unit goes a long way down, so that if we keep going and we see the counter, you can see right over the sink there, goes into the dining room, goes into the living area, and then goes into a full terrace that overlooks that marina view. Okay, it has a full eat-in bar. So that way, if you're just doing some informal eating and you want to be part of the conversation, you can do that as well. One of the other great benefits about this property is that it has an in-unit laundry. So that's very, very important, because it's rare to find in many of these. So having an in-unit laundry, and as you can actually see, there's a big, huge storage area behind it. They've turned that into a second guest bed, perfect for a pair of bunk beds, grandchildren, visitors, whatever you want to do. That certainly helps. If that's not enough, they have another full guest room, which, as you can see over my shoulder, there's 2 twin-sized beds in, still plenty of room. If you wanted to turn that into something a little bit more like a queen-size bed or things like that, there's plenty of space in there as well. Now you can also see that there are amenities inside. So this is a fully updated bathroom. This is the guest bath. Okay, this is that. And then we're going to go to the other bathroom that you can see. Excuse me, the first one was the master bath. This is the guest bath. This is the guest bath. It's a hallway bath, so it's also used by guests that just come over to visit. So if I were to live there and I had Sophie come visit me, this is where Sophie would have to go. But we'd probably be out on the terrace overlooking the marina, maybe having a glass of wine.
For sure.
So we're going to go back to the living room, because the living room is terrific. It's open, airy. It's got a full wall of mirrors if you like that. But more importantly, it has a full wall of the terrace. So that view outside of that terrace is phenomenal. I'm going to show you that quickly after. We're going to take another quick view. This is going back the other way from the terrace through the living area, dining, kitchen. So you can see how open and how spacious it really, really is. If you wanted a little quiet space, you can go into your master bedroom. Okay, which also, if you see, has that full terrace that overlooks. I could see grabbing a quick cup of coffee in the morning on the living room terrace, and just before bed, maybe a quick glass of wine with the same nighttime view of the ships going by and things of that nature. Never short on view. This place is not short on views. We're going to go outside. That's the view from the terrace. You can even scream down to your family and friends on a boat. That's how close you really are to the water.
Yeah, well, that's why you're purchasing them here. First and foremost is the proximity to the beach and dinner options, and you're walking and you're overlooking the boats and the waterway. Mm-hmm. And you're pretty close to getting out there if you want to. It's right there.
We're talking about over 40 acres of manicured and landscapes, views of their private lake, the Intracoastal, their marina. It has 4 pools, bocce ball, beach access, libraries, barbecues spread out throughout the entire place. And there's no age restrictions. Why do I point that out? Because you can have your family here. You can live here as a family. There's things for people to do of all ages, which makes it really, really nice. And if you're a boater, which is the real reason people come here, you have the marina right there. I mean, they have 100-foot deep slips. It's a big marina. Very convenient. You're near Jupiter Lighthouse, you're near Dubois Park, Juno Beach Park, you're a short drive to Abacoa Town Center, Loggerhead Marines. I mean, there's something to do here, not just sit there and boat and things like that, but you're in a great community. The restaurants in this area, if you go just a short ways, are phenomenal. You're smack in the middle of Jupiter and Juno. You can't beat the beaches there. You're even allowed a pet here. You're even allowed a pet in the development. It's one pet under 25 pounds or 20 pounds. But the best thing is the beaches here are pet-friendly beaches, which is a plus for people like me who has a dog. Sophie has a dog. I mean, taking your pet out to the beach, it's a great thing.
You know, besides the beach, and there's really nice, pet parks, too. They've done so many of them, like the new one on Indian Town Road and everything. Let me put the video on and give us a little tour of the community.
That's actually Juno Pier. That is the community. That's an aerial of the community. The community has 22 five-story buildings in it. So that's what surrounds the marina. This is the unit itself, dining into the living. I mean, they've done it in their decor, but the nice part is all of the bones of this condo have all been modernized, which makes it very easy. And the nicest part, interestingly enough, about this building, if you're doing it for an investment piece of property, it's the only building in the bluffs of the marina that you can rent within the first year. It's a big deal to be able to rent within the first year, because very rarely do you find that right on the water. They want you to own it for the year before you can rent.
And I think we're going to see a bigger rental market. My guess is next year, just because of what's happened to the cruising industry. We'll talk a little bit about that with Sophie, who that was some of her background beforehand. And probably less travel overseas going forward for the next few years. So the rent where people can drive here if they want to, and spend spend the winter. It's much more affordable to do that in one place.
You could pay a year's worth of HOA for less than what it would cost to take a family on a cruise.
And there's and there's just so much to do in the area. So Adam, what is your let me put spotlight back on you. Can you give your information?
Sure. If you want to get a hold of me, you can email me at adam@echofineproperties.com. You could call me at 561-631-0818, and I would be happy to show you this or many other properties located in this area. I know it well. I live here, so it would be my pleasure.
And when you work with Adam, he sizes you up, gets to know you a little bit over the phone, and the first time you meet with him, he wears a special bow tie just for you.
Had I known what Sophie was going to wear, I would have put on a little fuchsia.
So let's leave bow tie Bendeson right now. There's bow tie Bendeson all celebrating his bow ties, and we're going to go to the Ooze, Dan Uzzi. So Dan, where are you at today?
I'm at 12877 South Shore on the Intracoastal in Palm Beach Gardens. It's in the Intracoastal Park. This location is about halfway between Donald Ross Road and PGA Boulevard, right off Prosperity Farms. As you can see, it's right across the street from the Intracoastal. It is an absolutely... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, sorry, it says something about muting myself. It is an absolutely beautiful house with a great yard. Let me get you to the inside here. Okay, so this is the front, and that Chicago brick paver driveway. It's absolutely beautiful. Ivy growing on the outside. This house has some of the nicest floors. Let me turn this. I have a better picture.
It's spectacular. I love the plantation shutters that go with it too.
They're really gorgeous. The whole house has been redone. See, that's our living room shot. These floors, these large plank European oak real wood floors, are what I use to design the floors in my house. These floors are absolutely incredible. Let me keep moving along here. It's another shot of the living room. It's a very big, great room feel type house. That's a great shot of the floors. It really does them justice. And that's the living room / great room. It also has this incredible kitchen with these pounded granite countertops. I'd really never seen them.
What are they using on the ceiling?
That's Pecky Cypress.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. There's not a feature that's been overlooked. This is a chef's kitchen with chef grade appliances. It has a, let me show you here a little closer. Okay, so it has a, I have the information right here because I don't even know some of the brands. It is a Blodgett commercial grade oven, sub-zero fridge, Melee dishwasher, and a Thermador 6-burner stove and oven. It's
Basically,
really,
basically good stuff.
yes, really good stuff. Stuff I had never even heard of before. And like the island is incredible for entertaining. Let me show you a picture from the other angle right here. This all looks out towards the water, which is really nice. Look at that ceiling. Just look at the detail everywhere. With the wine racks in the background by the dining room.
It's incredible mix and match of, really tastefully done. And whoever decorated it, will they sell it furnished too?
Yes, they will. The furniture is still there and they're offering it furnished. So this home is listed at 1.8 million. This is the master bedroom. It's, as you can see, big enough for the sitting area with the Pecky Cypress ceilings again, like no detail overlooked. This also opens out to the patio and the water. Here we have the master bathroom. There's one shot at it. Again, with the gorgeous floors. We got here. This is the office, or it could be a 4th bedroom with the built-in bookshelf. All of this furniture can stay if you'd like. This property has either all impact, it has impact windows and doors on some areas and shutters on like the front bay window. Here's one of the guest bathrooms. I would probably refer to this as the 3rd bathroom. It would cover bedroom number 3 in the office. Here's the 2nd bathroom. That's right next to the 2nd bedroom. It is a split floor plan. This is actually a 33,000-pound boat lift, which is very large. Everything was replaced in 2016. The dock is 60 feet long, but there is more space. It's 80 feet of frontage. And one of the best parts about this home is the location. I mean, you're 3 minutes away from that Carmine's area that everyone likes and everyone loves for dinner. You're 5 minutes away from the mall. 8 minutes away from Abacoa, 6 minutes away from the beach. The location here is highly desirable. Here's another shot of the patio, from the patio looking out towards the water. It's got this great pagoda. And there's also an awning that can help with that west-facing sun that is retractable. All these doors back here are impact.
How is the sunsets and the sunrises from here?
Sorry?
How is it at night and in the morning?
It's beautiful. The sunsets at night are absolutely beautiful from this west-facing home, especially right over the water. And yeah, let's see if there's anything else I can offer. Oh, it also has a generator, a full house generator, which is really great. And again, it's offered at 1.8. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, and you put your other one under contract yesterday for.
I put my other home on the water under contract yesterday. We're very excited about that. I'm definitely seeing things starting to pick up. I had more showings in the last 10 days than I had in the last 2 months combined. So
showings overall, were 15% off of last year, which is kind of like January traffic, which is it dipped to about 65% off sometime in mid-April. But it's really shot back up. I haven't looked in the last few days, but every day it's been rising 2 or 3%. And I think we had 6 contracts come in. You're number 7, in the last 10 days. So it's gotten very, very active. We're getting a lot of movement and especially calls. Our call activity is as strong as it's been. It's really interesting. And a lot of it's, there's a lot of movement from the Northeast area, urban areas like
definitely
New York and even the Midwest, in Chicago, where people, the rental market and the sale market are both really strong right now. I think a lot of it's because we're a no income tax, state, our weather situation, and people are finding, remotely that they can work, out of the house instead of like sometimes in like these urban areas in Chicago. I have a friend who's in the media business, and there's 50 people in that group. And if somebody could work in Florida and do, and just do work right from there. So we're finding different things, and our areas become more attractive for that reason, whether it's saving 8% or 13.3%, on your tax bill.
Right.
So Dan, if you want to get in touch with Dan knows the Intracoastal incredibly well, plus a lot of other areas from the clubs like PGA, and his number is 561-371-0904. Dan Uzzi, Uzzi at echofineproperties.com. Dan reads 2 books a week. What is the book this week?
I'm still on Wolf's Call from last week. It was a slow week. It's a fantasy book that you've probably never heard of, and still on book 7 of Harry Potter.
And book 7 of Harry Potter. I'm on book none of Harry Potter, so you're doing better than me. What's after this?
I think I'm going to take a little bit of fantasy book break and hop into like some Harlan Coben murder mystery stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you had to pick a book for Adam, what would his book be if you could give him a book?
There's some cool detectives that look a lot like Adam. There is oh my gosh, I forget his name, but he wears a bow tie a lot. He's a private detective in California. So I'll bring one in for you, Adam.
So this is going to be a suspense thriller you'll have to tune into next episode with Dan to find out what Adam is getting.
Oh, it's his name is Elvis. Elvis Cole. Okay, Elvis Cole. He's definitely like a
suede shoes to read it.
I'm sorry?
Do I have to wear my blue suede shoes to read it?
I mean, he would. He is solving all these LA private detective things.
And how about Sophie? With her background of travel and cruising and stuff, what would you give Sophie?
Sophie is definitely one of the fantastic women from James Patterson's Women's Murder series, which consists of like this group of 5 all-star women. Like one is this amazing lawyer, one is this amazing cop, one is like this amazing DA, I forget. But they're all like high-profile women who are like doing great for San Francisco. She's definitely one of the fantastic women from
San Diego.
I'm sorry? Is it San Diego? San Diego? Okay, sorry. I knew it was
The Last Dance for the Bulls is on right now. A lot of people are watching it, profiling that whole Bulls, 6 championships. And Phil Jackson, who was a coach at that time when he came in, every season for every player on the team, he would pick out a book for them to read. That like was about them. And I always thought it was like the coolest things. Everybody, like some guys would like, what did Michael Jordan get? What did, sometimes they were like really bizarre books that, but there was reasons behind each thing. So they were kind of
I was watching it too.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you a little bit about PGA National. Let me give you a little bit of background on the community. So PGA is located between PGA Boulevard, obviously, and North Lake, and it's about 4,961 homes altogether. So it's just a mammoth community. There's 4 golf courses on site, and then there's 1 off site, and it's a unique community in that you don't have to join the club in order to play. So it's an optional. About 20% of the people are part of the club, and memberships range, in the low teens to on up, but they're not, it's not the most expensive club at all. And then there's 1 course that's offsite. It's the host of the Honda Classic. We get Tiger and Phil Mickelson just moved here. Rory. There's a 32,000 square foot health and racquetball club. There's the PGA Resort and Spa, the 7 Waters of the World. There's 19 clay tennis courts, lighted. There's multiple pickleball courts that they've added, and then there's a whole croquet, league. It's actually a pretty large croquet club. There you can see the outline of where it is. It's on the north side. It's right across directly from the turnpike, so it's really easy access if you're going north to Orlando or want to get up to Stort. And then, probably about 15 minutes from the airport, you can either access 95 on North Lake or PGA, or from the turnpike. You can get there about 3 minutes away on the south side of it. There's the resort itself, and then you can see the pool, the putting green, off to its left. There's the famous bear that's named after the bear trap, that's on the 16th, 17th, and 18th that they play in the Honda. That's the Nicholas course. There's the entrance to the resort itself. There's 4 restaurants in there that anybody can use, but if you're a member, you get discounts as well, and you get to use the club and the resort pool, which is just spectacular, and cabana bath and just amazing stuff. There's the Bear Trap itself. There's 43 different communities within PGA National. A lot of them hug, and they're on different golf courses and fairways, and there's lake views and beautiful preserve and nature areas where you'll get 300-400 birds that come at night, and some of the most amazing vistas and parks, and lots of natural preserve area that's set up as well throughout PGA. Very affordable, and it's a big rental community. The 43 subdivisions have a little bit of everything. There's small townhouses and condos to larger condos to single family estate homes and 0 lot line homes. They range anywhere from the 200s. There's the pickleball courts and you can see the health club and all the tennis courts from there, and then go into the millions for some of the estate homes that are 7,000-8,000 square feet. But most of them start around 2,500 and 3,500 square feet, I would say, is average for some of the custom estate homes. So let me show you the house that we're at today, which is 210 Thornton Drive, and then let me show you some pictures of that. Give me a second here. So this is a 3,000 square foot house. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, really spectacular custom estate home. What's really interesting about it is it's on one of the largest lots in all of PGA National. It's well over it's over 2/3 of an acre. I'm going to show you one shot here, then I'll move a little bit out of the way for you. But it's got a driveway that has incredible social distancing. You can probably put 15, 16 cars easy in that driveway. And then if you look behind the house, you see that spectacular lake view, and it's got a front, giant front yard where you can play a little baseball game, and the backyard kind of matches it, the same. Here's an aerial shot from the back, so you can take a look and see what it looks like. And then there's a night shot. We do all of our photography and videography in house, so we'll do real night shots and aerials and all in house. There's a shot of the living room. This is when you first come in, the front door, and then here's looking back at the front door, and there's these beautiful archways that were built, and you've got these throughout the whole house. But that's bringing in a lot of light. This is a southern exposure off the back. So when you have a southern exposure, and it's really the best exposure, in Florida, it just brings in really pretty light throughout the house the whole day. And then there's sunlight on the pool. But when people are looking for a light, open, and spacious home, which everybody is, that's what it gives you. And then if you've got light, if the home is built properly, which this one really is, where it strategically placed its windows, you're going to get more light throughout the house, and it's going to have that open feel throughout. That's the dining room, and they even use the arch windows there with those two butted against each other to bring in real pretty views from the outside views from the inside. Oversized tile floors, kitchen with granite, stained wood cabinetry, separate really large island, and then there's a beautiful skylight in here that brings in all sorts of all natural light. You can see all the sliders that go out to the pool and that are off the family room. That's where the breakfast area is. There's a giant covered pool area, and then this is your family room. So it's an open concept family room and kitchen. Your master bedroom is quite large, and then there's a separate bathroom that goes off there, and then 2 French door sliders that go out to the covered pool area. Here's your master bath, which is again pretty large. There's 3 guest bedrooms. That's one of them over there. Another guest bedroom with double beds. I don't have a picture of the one with that's in the study, and then your pool area, and you can take another look at it here. But that's your really pretty view over here, and then there's the view from from the back. So that's at PGA. That's at PGA National. If you'd like to see that, that's at 850. I'm at 561-346-8383, or Jeff at echofineproperties.com. And now we're going to talk to Sophie Schneeberger. There's Sophie as a little one. So Sophie, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and where all these traveling pictures everywhere by Paris and everything. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I grew up in Boston. I grew up with my mom in Boston, went to school at University of New Hampshire, and basically grew up in a very sort of diverse family. My mom is from France. My father is from Germany. We spent, every summer as a kid traveling to see our family abroad in Europe. And I always just had the travel itch from, a small age. And when I graduated school, I decided to basically spend my 20s as a free spirit, traveling all over the world and continuing that. And spent a couple of years with the Peace Corps in West Africa. I taught English in China. I worked on cruise ships for about 5 years, traveling all over the Caribbean and the, Pacific Islands, and just really had a blast. Really just being free and putting adulting off until my 30s. And then had a girlfriend who lived in Palm Beach Gardens, and I came to visit her several times in between cruise ships, and I just fell in love with the area, and it was an easy decision to settle here. And I've been really grateful I chose this area ever since. I love it here.
If it's, all this cruising, what did you learn from traveling the world that helps you in real estate?
A few things. I mean, each position separately, every job that I did separately was some sort of training wheels for real estate in one way or another. Traveling and coming from a diverse, I lived in West Africa, which was a Muslim country. It was very much village life. I grew up in a Catholic school, but I went to a Protestant church and was raised in a Protestant church. I've got a really diverse background when it comes to the people I've spent time with. And I think having traveled and being constantly surrounded by people of other cultures, of other nations, of other religions, whatever it might be, at that point you get to real estate, and it doesn't matter who your client is or what their walk of life is, or, where they've come from, what they've done. You're at the end of the day, everybody needs to find a place to live, and they want to be happy in their home. And if you've got the person who can, take the time to learn a little bit about you and what your background is, you're going to be able to find them the right home that suits their lifestyle.
What how you still have a lot of friends that are in the cruising business, and how are they doing?
Yeah, I do. They are doing okay. There are some who were essentially sailed back to their homes. Either they were in Indonesia or the Philippines, or some of those crew members, because they're not necessarily working. I know that they're now starting to roll out the ships again, but for a while there, I think a lot of the crew members were enjoying having the cruise ships to themselves with no guests to work for. They were good. They were safe. They were well taken care of. And I think it's just a sort of blip where any crew member who's still on the ships now is going to look back on it and say, that was kind of a crazy situation and really unlike, the usual day-to-day grind of working on a cruise ship.
How long do you think, just curiously, that industry will take to get back up to par?
It'll take some time. Even before this whole COVID thing, there were people who, God forbid, there would be a ship that would catch fire in the middle of the water, and everybody would say, I'm never getting on a cruise ship ever again. But, over time, people forget and they move on, and they realize, it's not going to happen to them necessarily. And from what I hear, cruise ship bookings, now that they are starting to sail again and open up their bookings, they're busy. So I don't think it's going to take long for the cruise ship industry to pop back up.
And so tell us a little bit about you're really have done an incredible job in real estate. Tell us what your philosophy is.
Just show up to work. It's pretty simple. I mean, you show up, you get things done, you get a phone call, someone has a question, they want to, see some properties, whatever it might be, you sit down and you get to work. I mean, you put it on your to-do list, get it done and check it off your to-do list. It's pretty straightforward. So for me, it's not really rocket science. If someone tells me they need a single level home with a pool and it needs to be in a certain area and it has to be in a certain school district, it's a matter of, just looking for it on the listings. If it's not in the listings, then you're going to have to think out of the box. You're going to have to search for it. Maybe you knock on some doors. Maybe you make some phone calls. Maybe you reach out to some people personally with, a handwritten note. And you find that house. You track it down for that person.
Some of it is rocket science, though, and I don't mean that in that it's not a tech. You have to use technology. But there's an art of reading people, and your social intelligence is so high. Your ability is a lot of that come from growing up and traveling like that as well. Where does that, that part of it, I think, is rocket science in a completely different way.
It's funny, I just never think of it that way, but I think maybe I've been very lucky. When I was a kid, we were moving around a lot. I grew up in Boston, but I was always changing schools, moving cities. Then we went to California, and then we came back to Boston. And so my whole childhood, I've been sort of the girl who needed to adapt to new surroundings time and time and time again. I had to make new friends. I had to make a new social circle. And I think that alone was very helpful, I guess, for me feeling like getting to know someone is not rocket science. Maybe I'm just very lucky in that regard. And then, of course, the travels helps with that because, being all over the world and meeting people who are so different from, my inner circle here in America in every shape and form, you just learn quickly to, for me, it's an all natural thing. I want to hear about who they are, what their background is, and then, let's attack what they need. I don't know. It's just, for me, it's never something that's ever been, something I had to
I think,
do.
the social intelligence part is you have that and you're able to read people. You have a natural curiosity about them. And I think maybe that comes from traveling so much, whether you're interested in their story. And if you're interested in their story, you're better able to read what they're looking for. And then it's the work ethic part of it, which, a lot of people don't have, and they're not going to work like you do. It's incredibly hard to come to a new area, which is what Sophie did with no family, or friends at all, coming here and get to work in an industry that's highly competitive and have success like you have. It's a really great story. And you also profile all these, businesses that you've done and do these business. You're a helper. You're involved in a lot of different types of charities. So it's, I've loved your growth here has been, just fantastic to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, I've enjoyed doing it. I mean, I always had this big dream of when I was in my 20s and I was enjoying my free spirit life. I did know that eventually I was going to pick a place and I was going to settle down. And I imagined my life being a well-rounded combination of career, social life, family life, volunteer, travel. So, I kind of sought after that when I moved here, and I've been able to kind of pick and choose and collect all those different pieces of what I want to achieve in my life, my day-to-day life. And so I'm kind of excited and I'm proud to be where I am now because I love it here. I think I chose right. Jupiter, Florida is, in my opinion, the best place to live in the world. And I'm surrounded by excellent communities everywhere I go, whether it's in my volunteering or whether it's in my career or, I've got great circles of people around me all the time, and I'm really grateful for it.
You had a goal when you came here, was, buy a house and then get a dog, and you have Brutus now and you have your house. Why is Jupiter, do you find Jupiter to be the best place in the world? Because you've lived in a lot of places.
Well, of course, number one,
or travel to at least.
Everyone can agree that, obviously, number one, the weather in South Florida in general, that's right up my alley. Having grown up in mostly Boston for the majority of my childhood, in New England, 9-month winters, I knew I just did not want to do that for the rest of my life. I just didn't. And I didn't want to retire at 75 and then decide to go to Florida. I wanted to enjoy it my whole life. So that's number one. Secondly, I mean, just some of the local businesses that we have around here, waterfront restaurants and bars and social life, nightlife, concerts. There are just so many things to do. You never run out of, local events like your Jupiter Beer Fest, or, there's Abacoa always has something going on, food trucks. So, in that regard, I just love that, you're never going to find yourself on a Friday night with nothing to do. And then, it's just this area is just so beautifully developed. I mean, whoever was on the planning committee when they started putting Jupiter together was brilliant, because the level of convenience to get to everything you need, the level of maintenance in even your public streets, your public roads, everything is beautifully manicured, put together. It's an aesthetically pleasing place to live. And I feel, for example, if I had decided to move back to Boston where I grew up, I would not be able to do little things like take my dog to the beach at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday to kill an hour before I have to make some phone calls. You know what I mean? And that's something I could do anytime, whenever I want to. And it's a great way to break up my day and sort of refresh my mind and get back into work. And, there are things that you miss out on, up north with weather like that. So I'm just very grateful to be here. I love it here.
For me, everybody here, but other than Dan. Yes, Dan. Dan's busy reading his book right now. Everybody other than Dan is a transplant. For me, there's just like surprise things like I never thought that I would do. Like for me, it's like, especially in the summer, I go to that beach in Jupiter Island, the Coral Cove, and I go snorkeling for like an hour, and all the stress from work and everything just disappears. And I look at, all sorts of things from nurse sharks to, every kind of colorful fish that you can imagine, or turtles that you'll see there. And it's like you're in a different world. And I could never do that in Lake Michigan, in Chicago. And, even right now in a pandemic, I'm enjoying my backyard. And if you look around, you'll just, from butterflies, banana trees, and we live off of a, pretty lake, and the birds that come by. You take little things for granted in Florida that we don't have. Hey, Rob, what's your, you're from Pennsylvania. I heard your mom said it was in the Poconos, 33 degrees and sleet yesterday. What do you like best about the area? What do you think you're taking for granted that would surprise you, but now you kind of you're just used to?
I guess it's the beauty of the area. It's because it's kind of funny, because when we go back to visit family in Pennsylvania, I grew up in the Pocono Mountains. I never noticed the mountains before. When we go home, now I see the mountains, like, was that mountain always there? Like, wow, I never appreciated it because I was just in my day-to-day hustle, bustle, and doing things. The same down here. When we first moved to Florida, it was the palm trees. I always noticed palm trees and beauty. And then that started to fade off. I don't mean that in a bad way, just didn't really think about it. And now that like you're saying, you look around, you hear the birds, you see the wildlife, you see the turtles, you see the different things, it makes you really appreciate. I'm a scuba diver, so I haven't done that in a little while. I want to get back in the water, but scuba diving is amazing down here. Some of the best reefs in the world, just in our own backyard. Just the beauty of the area, I think, and the weather helps. No snow and sleet on May, what is it, 12th, down here. So we don't got that problem.
Adam, what do you enjoy about the area most, or that was the biggest surprise to you when you moved here that you didn't expect?
It's funny because I lived in Long Island before I came down here. So I lived very close to the beach anyway. So I had the beach life, but I'm always enamored about the coastline itself, just driving up and down the coastline and seeing the different communities along that. If we could drive or walk the coastline every day, that would be a benefit. I mean, as Rob said, the palm trees, listen, even on your worst day, if you wake up to a palm tree, it makes it a little better than waking up to the dirty snow up north. I mean, there is a benefit in that, but you appreciate things differently when you are surrounded by such beauty every day.
There's a weird thing I've always kind of wanted to do, and we started doing a little bit. even off of we all had some cabin fever and needed to get out of the house. So we took a drive on Mother's Day and we went down Indian Town Road. And there are these off the roads, whether it's Indian Town or PGA or North Lake, like you get there's these nature areas and they have these walking trails and there's a lot of them. And they're like little areas and there's little watchtowers and little points to go to, like off of Marisol that you would never even know it's there. If you pass Marisol, there's one that's there with a little, there's a boat ramp and you can just watch all the things going off the water. But we went down one, in Jupiter Farms area off of Indian Town, past everything almost where you get to like Pratt Whitney. And it's just, just this gorgeous trail and walking trails and stuff. So there's little parks and little discoveries within our own area that we really don't even realize. Dan, if you moved, what would be the thing you missed the most? Hang on one second.
What? I muted. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I grew up in a condo directly on the ocean in Juno Beach. So I don't think I could ever move away from the water. Like I grew up, I think I started surfing by myself since I was like 6. And I'd be at the first wave break. My dad would be at the beach, just standing up, watching me, making sure I was okay. And fishing, deep sea fishing. And my dad's boat was right around the corner in Lagerhead Marina, which is now like the Frenchman, which is now the Azura Marina, actually. And I've made so many crossings to the Bahamas in my life by boat. Like me and my dad have probably been over there 50 times, just the two of us, fishing the whole way. So I don't think I could ever leave like the water boating lifestyle. It's like ingrained in me.
Yeah, and within Florida, there's so much areas to travel to that are nearby too, whether it's Miami or the Keys or the other coast or St. Augustine and Orlando.
St. Augustine's so beautiful too.
Yeah, even in the middle, right past St. Augustine, all the natural water areas that are there. What am I thinking of? The
J.D. Springs and whatnot.
Yeah, all the springs are amazing if you've ever went just swimming in there and stuff and how clear it is and things. It's a great area to raise a family or to retire in. But the earlier you can get here, I think, the better. So, Sophie, if somebody'd like to get in touch with you, what's your contact information?
Give me a call, 561-808-4114, or you can email me at sophie@echofineproperties.com.
Yeah, she's just a fantastic realtor and really just a great story. Very hard to do it when you have no connections, no family here, and she just got to work and is unafraid of anything and will take great care of you and great interest in you. And her job is to make you happy. So that's it for this hour. And then we have 4 local businesses that we're going to be featuring today. And so, Rob, you want to go through our schedule?
Yes, sir. In about 10 minutes, we have Alex Lorenzo from Da Vinci's 3D Lounge in Lake Park. 3D printing.
His place is totally wild.
Virtual reality. So I'm sure we're really going to talk about virtual reality and also the ways that he's helped out during the coronavirus outbreak. I don't want to give it away. You're just gonna have to watch, but he's done some amazing things with masks, and not the type that come like this, different type of shields. You'll see. And then at 2 p.m., Carrie Roman from livingfla.com. He's a local promoter down there in the Boca Del Rey area, promoting local businesses such as restaurants or Potions and Motions, one of his clients. Lichtenstein Plastic Surgery at 3 p.m. And 4 p.m. is Tranquil Radiance Spa. So
we're asking all these businesses what they're doing in this environment and how their businesses are, what's going to happen, what are the takeaways that they're learning from this. For us, we've had lots of takeaways, really getting into a virtual world and doing like what we're doing now. A lot of those things will stay. Will stay with us. And yes, Dan, we can do something for Edgewater. Just send what you want.
Okay.
He sold it. We got to celebrate it.
Yeah.
The big deal.
Under
contract. Yeah. Give you a reaction. You want a thumbs up or some clapping?
There you go. Clapping.
Both. Can it be both?
Can't do both at the same time, but
Okay,
thumbs up,
thumbs up.
clapping, cheers, everything. So, all right. So for Dan Uzzi, the Ooze, Sophie Schneeberger, say that in one, that's a mouthful.
I
Adam
was wondering how to
Bendeson.
pronounce it.
Yeah, I can do it pretty, it rolls off good. Adam Bendeson, the bow tie Bendeson, myself, Rob Moore. So long, everybody. See you in 7 minutes.
5 minutes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.